Let's talk about the good and bad of living in Milton. You're either thinking about Milton specifically, or you're doing a lot of research and wondering if this might be the best option for you. I'll tell you all the reasons I love Milton, Georgia, and perhaps even more important, the cons of living here, which might be deal breakers for you. So stick around to make sure you know exactly what you're getting into. Let's get into it. If you're new here, here's the Cliff Notes of Milton, Georgia. It's going to be a 40-minute drive north of Atlanta in Fulton County. You're going to head up Georgia 400, and it's going to be the space between 400 and 575, just north of Alpharetta and Roswell. I would say what's unique about Milton is the large, beautiful homes and minimal development. Unlike most suburbs in the metro, Milton still has lots of open farmland and large properties, which is something you're just not going to find nearly as often as you're going to find it here. More on that later. Now, let's start with the pros. As I mentioned, the homes in Milton are fantastic. There are certainly nice homes in any of the cities around Atlanta, but pound for pound, Milton will have the most consistently fantastic houses. There are two main options: super high-end communities with exceptional amenities like golf course, guard on duty, tennis instructor, etc. These will be communities like The Manor, White Columns, or Echelon. Or it will be beautiful homes on some acreage with no HOA. It's pretty standard in the area to have at least 1 acre, and it's not uncommon to find properties with 5, 10, or even 20 acres. Median home price is $1.3 million. Can you find a home under $500K? Yep, there's one. I just checked. $495, and it looks nice too. Renovated 1960s on over 1 acre. They started at $550 and it's down below $500 now. Let me know if you're interested. Homes on the lower end will be around $800,000, and on the high end, you're talking 8, 9, 10 million. Even though Milton is pretty spacious and works hard to maintain that, they are still building. Of the 66 homes currently available, 23 are either new construction, under construction, or they're yet to be built. So if you want some land, a lot of land, no HOA, an elite HOA, something new, or maybe something established, we're going to be ready for you here in Milton, Georgia. The larger lots in Milton are one of the area's really most defining and attractive features. Many homes sit on really big parcels of land, often an acre or more, which is a rarity in a lot of suburban communities, especially around here, especially if you want to be in some sort of neighborhood or community. I just looked at the numbers, and there are 66 homes available in Milton, and currently only 6 of them have less than 1 acre of land. And all 6 of those are built on a semi-townhome style, where the homes are detached but by like a foot. The big benefit of the larger lots that everyone is looking for is plenty of room for privacy, more space for outdoor living, and the freedom to create some custom amenities like pools, gardens, outdoor kitchens, or all of the above. You can personalize and really make the space your own, whether you want room for your kids to play, maybe you have some horses, or you just want to enjoy the wind in the trees. These lot sizes are going to contribute to the area's rural feel. Many of the properties have really lush greenery, mature trees, big open spaces, going to create private and peaceful settings, not only to the home, but just to the community as a whole. And the larger lots don't just offer lifestyle benefits. They're also a smart investment as land becomes more scarce. As development around Atlanta continues and the area becomes more and more dense, homes with more acreage are going to hold their value well as the demand for space and privacy continues to rise. One of the biggest selling points for Milton is its safety. Milton consistently ranks as one of the safest cities in Georgia. Because it's a relatively small city, there's really just less of a chance of crime here. According to Neighborhood Scout, Milton is safer than the majority of cities, towns, and villages in America, 61%, and also has a lower crime rate than 66% of the communities in Georgia, according to Neighborhood Scout's analysis of FBI crime data. How risky is that? Your chance of becoming a victim in Milton is 1 in 137 based on the total crime rate, violent and property crimes combined. In America overall, your chance of becoming a victim of crime is 1 in 43. It is for these reasons that Milton is ranked as one of the top 100 safest cities in the US. Number 39, by the way. Compared to other communities of similar population size, Milton has a crime rate that is noticeably lower than the average. This means that for comparably sized cities all across America, Milton is actually safer than most, according to Neighborhood Scout's exclusive analysis of FBI crime data. As I always say, don't take my word for it. Don't try to sue me if you get robbed. I'm just citing third-party data. Do your own research. I don't want to go to real estate jail. If you have kids, one of the biggest benefits of living in Milton is the excellent schools. If you're unfamiliar with the Georgia school system, here is a quick crash course. School districts in Georgia are separated by the county lines, which means Milton is part of the Fulton County School District, one of the top rated districts in the state, coming in at number 12 on niche.com. Now, there are some cities around Atlanta that operate a single high school outside of the county school system. This has since been abolished, but those who were operating this way have been grandfathered in, like City of Marietta, City of Cartersville, or City of Beaufort. If you take those out of the data, that jumps Fulton up to number 6. Also, Fulton County is a suspiciously weird shape. It almost closes up right where you think it would, and then all of a sudden it just opens up and travels way south of the city. If you just took the schools in that northern section where you would expect the boundaries to converge, I think Fulton County ranks top 3, maybe even top 1. You'll have 2 options for high schools in Milton. If you're on the west side, you'll be zoned for Milton High School, which gets an 8 out of 10 on gradeschools.org and an A+ on niche.com. Also ranking in the top 10 schools in the entire state of Georgia. And if you're on the east side, you'll have Cambridge High School, which gets a 9 out of 10 on gradeschools.org and an A+ on niche.com. Milton sits in a very comfortable position in the metro. About 40 minutes north of Atlanta, you're going to head up Georgia 400, and it's going to be in that space between Highway 400 and I-75. If you live in Milton, you're probably not working in the city of Atlanta. Best scenarios are going to be either teleworking from home or commuting to an office in Alpharetta, which is right next door. Milton works really hard to remain a spread out, quieter community, so amenities nearby is a must because there's just not much to do here on purpose. More on that later. The neighboring communities are going to be Alpharetta, Roswell, Woodstock, and Canton. Alpharetta to the east is the local gem with the Avalon, which is high-end mixed-use development. North Point Mall and downtown Alpharetta, along with all the parks and restaurants it's got to offer. Woodstock is to the west and has one of the best-known downtowns around. Canton is to the north, also has a great downtown, along with some of the best parks around. Keep heading north and you'll hit Ellijay and Blue Ridge for some great mountain scenery and hiking. Roswell is to the south, and Canton Street in historic Roswell has some of the best and most eclectic restaurants around. Milton really is the perfect spot for, I want to be close to all the things, but I don't want to see, hear, or notice any of them when I'm home. If you need help dialing in the best area for you, go ahead and reach out to me. My name's Joel. I'm a local realtor here in the metro area. My information is going to be below in the description. You'll also see it right here at the bottom of the screen. I help clients relocate here all the time. Call, text, or email. I will be able to help you figure out which area is going to work best for you. Always happy to answer questions or have a conversation. Milton is often considered a micro market, meaning it operates somewhat independently of broader real estate trends. This happens mainly because of its high demand, limited inventory, and its reputation for exclusivity. It's premium, everyone wants it, and there isn't a lot of it. The large lot sizes, luxury homes, top-rated schools, and the city's commitment to preserving the rural charm make it incredibly appealing, particularly to more affluent buyers looking for a high-quality lifestyle. As a result, homes in Milton tend to hold their value remarkably well, even during periods of economic uncertainty or fluctuating market conditions. Any of that sound familiar? While local, regional, or even national markets may experience dips or instability, Milton's desirability is going to act as a stabilizing factor. Buyers are drawn here because Milton homes typically have everything on the list: privacy, spacious properties, proximity to Atlanta, high-end finishes, keeping it really high in demand. And Disney just proves this point. It's expensive to go to Disney. And after rising ticket prices, rising food prices, lightning lane costs, what did they do? They came out with their most expensive option yet, called a Premier Pass, which allows you to skip every line in a single park. No reservation window, no getting into the app to refresh and refresh and refresh, hoping to grab that popular ride that everyone loves. Every ride, one time, whenever you want, stress-free. And on top of your hotel and your park tickets and your food and everything else, this will cost you up to $450 per person per day. And everyone was up in arms about it. But you know what happened? It sells out every day because there will always be a demand for a quality, limited supply, high-end product. Now, does this mean that home values in Milton never go down? Short answer is no, and it depends on what you mean. If you mean that you won't have to sell your house for anything less that you want for it, then you're gonna be disappointed. No, you can't just ask for whatever you feel like the value is. What I mean by all of that is that even when the regional or national market sees volatility, Milton homes will remain steadier. Yes, sellers get greedy, and yes, they overprice their homes, which lead to price drops, but the actual value, meaning what a buyer is willing to pay for your home, will have a stronger foundation here than in some of the other surrounding communities. Milton is known for its quiet and peaceful atmosphere and gives it a unique separation from the hustle and bustle of the city life. One of the main reasons for the tranquility is its thoughtfully planned low-density development. Unlike more developed or perhaps overdeveloped areas, looking at you, Marietta, Milton's spacious lot sizes, rolling hills, and abundance of greenery create a sense of openness and calm. The town has intentionally preserved its roots with scenic horse farms, tree-lined streets, giving a very serene vibe. There's also a noticeable lack of the noise and congestion that often comes with larger towns. Traffic is minimal because there's an intentional lack of commercial development, helping to maintain just a slower, more relaxed pace of life. Every time I have a client drive through, I get comments on how peaceful it feels just to be there and how they can feel the difference from some of the other cities we may be exploring. Milton has put hard work to commit to maintaining this quiet charm by implementing zoning regulations with a community focus. People have certainly wanted to build more businesses here, and developers have wanted to put more homes on smaller lots, but as for now, the community is just not having it.
The cons.
So Milton's cost of living is high. As I mentioned earlier, the average home price in Milton is around $1.3 million, making it the most expensive suburb in Metro Atlanta to buy a home. But honestly, it's to be expected. Everything is premium. The size, the lots, the finishes, the materials, the privacy, the location, the add-ons, the pool house, the sauna, the wine cellar, the amenities, the clubhouse, the golf course, the gym, the gate, the guard on duty. If your list for a home leaves nothing out, Milton is where you go. And you'll also find that property taxes are higher here than in many other areas. Milton is part of Fulton County, which has some of the highest property taxes in the state, where some other counties like Forsyth, Cobb, and Cherokee have a senior tax exemption where residents over the age of 62 don't have to pay school taxes. Fulton County does not have a senior tax exemption, or they technically do, but it's very, very small. So for example, if your home is worth $1 million, your property taxes might be somewhere near $10,000 a year. If you were to put that same home in Cherokee County and you were over 62, it would be much closer to $2,500, which is a huge difference. There's not a ton to do in Milton. It's just not what Milton is known for, and it's not really the point. If you added a bunch of things to do, it would defeat the whole idea of what the city is going for. It wants to be quieter, it wants to be more spread out, and has worked hard to maintain that for almost 200 years at this point. That being said, there are a few things. Crabapple Market is kind of the city's town center and gathering place. There are some cool restaurants like Old Blind Dog, The Nest, Lily's Sushi Bar just opened up recently. There's a great green space with a stage where they host local events. If you were looking for something to do specifically in Milton, this is probably the first place that you would go. The best things to do here are really the parks. They have a lot and do a great job maintaining them. Bell Memorial Park is mostly built for the kids' weekend ball game with its baseball fields, football fields, but it also has both paved walking paths as well as hikes through the trees. Birmingham Park has a great trail system. They're all pretty short. I think the longest one is about 1.5 miles, but you could string a bunch together and make an afternoon out of it. And they have equestrian trails, so you could bring your horse if that's your thing. The Lakapani Preserve is a great place to hike. Province Park, Mayfield Park, Freedom Park, there's a ton. If you're looking for more activity that's close by, Alpharetta is going to be the better option for you. Reach out to me if you're trying to figure out which area, city, or cities would be best for you. I live here in Metro Atlanta and I hang out at all these different locations. So you can give me like 3 or 4 things that are really important to you and I'll be able to place you in the spot that's going to work well. Information is here. Call, text, or email anytime. Happy to have a conversation. Milton has a long history of maintaining its rural charm and spacious, low-density lifestyle. But with growth and development all across the Metro Atlanta area, concerns about urban expansion are increasingly on the minds of the residents and the local leaders. The town's large lots, scenic landscapes, and equestrian-friendly environment set it apart, and many worry that unchecked development could jeopardize what makes Milton so special. With more and more people moving to the area, developers and city planners are thinking ahead to figure out where everyone is going to go with some eyes on Milton. One of the primary concerns is the risk of overdevelopment, particularly in the form of high-density housing or commercial sprawl. Milton does have zoning regulations that prioritize low-density residential areas and large parcels of land, but with nearby cities continuing to see rapid growth, it's putting more and more pressure on Milton to follow suit, which in turn is starting debates about balancing the demand for new housing and amenities with the preservation of the area's character.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Another concern involves infrastructure. Urban expansion often brings increased traffic, which could disrupt the peaceful atmosphere Milton is really known for. And with more residents comes more strain on schools, utilities, natural resources, which are really carefully managed to support the existing population. Fortunately, the city is proactive in addressing the concerns. Milton has established their strict zoning laws and master planning initiatives to guide development in a way that aligns with the lifestyle that they're going for. Local government works hard to ensure that any growth is intentional, sustainable, and consistent with Milton's vision of preserving open spaces, equestrian culture, and just overall quality of life. For now, residents should feel good about the city's efforts, but is this a bubble that will eventually burst? Time will tell. Now, if you're thinking, yes, this sounds like exactly what I've been looking for, reach out and we'll get that relocation process started. If you're thinking, maybe this isn't for me, check out this playlist right over here. I've got vlogs, map tours, and guides so you can learn more about all the different suburbs. Or even better, give me a call and we can chat about it directly. I'll see you in the next one.